Hello, GH101. In this video we're going to talk about the first R programming assignment. So first you need to be either using the Unix Lab computer so you can use R in RStudio, or you need to have it installed on your home computer, and that is on a previous video about installing those. So the first thing to do is download these 4 R files to your computer, or if you're doing this in the Unix Lab, then you'll be saving them into your account. Alright, so those are going to download into my downloads directory. Next thing is to change the name to put hw2b underscore on the front of all of those. Alright, now we want to go over to RStudio and open up those files and make sure that we can run them. Make sure that these are saved somewhere that you know where they are and you can edit them. Alright, so the prime program still works. Factorial, counting, and bot test. You first want to run them to make sure they still appear to do what they're supposed to. The bot test, I'm supposed to type the number. There's the counting, and here's the factorial. Alright, for each one of these, I have things that I want you to do to change it. Okay, so for the counting, I want you to, let's go over to the counting program. Here's the counting program. So I want to only print the total when it's multiple of 5. Okay, and I only want it to go up to 30. Okay, so I want to go, instead of going 1 to 100, I want to go 1 to 30. And this I don't want to print. And then this, I want to make that, instead of total greater than or equal to 100, it should be if I is a multiple of 5. So I is a multiple of 5. That would be my condition. Right, that's not actually going to run, but you need to put in the right condition there based off of looking at one of the other examples that we did. Okay, so that would be what I want you to do, and I'll show you how that runs in just a minute. Alright, the primes program. So we're going to comment some things out. So I want to comment out the printing in the primes function. So that we're not printing in the primes function. Okay. Now I want to put in a loop that's going to test for each integer between 2000 and 2100, print only the primes. So what I want to do is a test like this. Call that result, and then if result is true, see, there's found divisor, it's either going to be true or false. So the result is either true or false, and I just want to print the values. I'll just print 202 only if it's prime. Okay, if I put in a prime number here, I print it, It's better to do this like this, so I don't have 17 typed twice. Anytime you type something twice, probably it should be in a variable. Okay, so then what I want to do is run this for all numbers x between 2000 and 2100, and so you need a for loop. So x is in 2000, 2100. Okay, I'll show you what that looks like after we finish that in a moment. All right, then we've got bot test. So bot test, we're going to comment some things out. We're going to make some changes. So the idea here is to make the bot test so it gives you 3 chances. And then at the end, it decides whether you might be a bot or not. Okay, so on line 8, we're going to make a new variable, call it attempts. How many attempts have they done? Line 24, we're going to add 1 to the number of attempts. So that's how we add 1 to a variable. And so we have a new print statement. I'm going to reorder these things. Okay, so I want to print this on line 6. And make sure to change those quotes to, you have to type them in there. The copy paste from Google is a different character actually. All right, I'm just going to run this to make sure I didn't break anything. Let's see, the right answer there would be 15, so I'm going to say 1. Yep, okay, so I did break something. There's my attempts variable. I have to call it attempts in both places. There's attempts. All right, let's run it again. I'm going to say 1. It said I was wrong, and now I'll say 18. And it said I was correct. All right, now I want to do, after the while loop, I want to check whether they pass the test. So if passed test is true, I do one thing, otherwise I do another thing. Okay, so there's the print statements that I want you to use in either case. And then I want you to change the condition for the while loop. So I want to keep going. If they haven't passed, yes, but then I want to also do attempts is less than 3. They haven't used up their 3 attempts. Okay, so you'll need that, and then I want this print statement. One print statement here, another print statement here. That's bot test. All right, let's look at factorial. Here's factorial. That was looking for the value where the 10 factorial is bigger than 1,000,000. All right, so what I want to do is comment out lines 14 to 21. And there is a, under code, I want to comment those lines, so you can select a bunch of lines and then comment them. All right, that's the first thing. I want to make a new function called binomial that takes 2 arguments. So binomial is a function, 2 arguments. So n and k are going to be the 2 variables there. And then I want it to call factorial n, factorial k, and factorial n minus k. and compute this. So I want to say, let's just do it like this. So factorial n, factorial k, factorial n minus k. All right, then I want to return based on this formula, which is the definition of the binomial coefficient. Okay, so you need to put that in based on x, y, z. All right, and then you want to test your binomial function. Right now I'm just going to put it like this. So that's not the right formula, but I could test my binomial 5, 1, and it's just returning the first number n factorial, so the 5. If I call it like 1 and 5, what do you think it would print the way it is right now? It's doing just the so I'm supposed to be doing my factorial. Sorry. Right. Okay, so my factorial handles 1. The built-in factorial didn't like that. All right, so we're going to call my factorial. Okay. Then you need to put in a for loop. So I want you to have a for loop. I'm not going to get it started for you. So for loop with I in 1 to 10, and inside of there print binomial 10i. So these are the binomial coefficients with 10. The way you pronounce this binomial coefficient is n choose k. If you're in math land, and there's a reason for that. You can look it up or ask. But so I'm printing n choose I from 1 up to 10. Or actually 0 up to 10. Okay? So that's that. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm going to pause the video for a second. Okay, so when you have your programs done, this is what they should look like. I'll run each one. I have it small here so that you don't see my complete code. The prime program will look like this. It prints off just the primes from 2000 to 2100. The factorial program, these are the binomial coefficients from n choose 0 to n choose 10. And I made one change to the factorial program. Was right here. If you download the file, it'll have this in here. If n is less than or equal to 0, it returns 1 right away. But that should be in the file now if you download it. Counting program, here are the sums where we went up to 5, 10, 15, up to 30, and these are the correct values there. And the bot test, so it says we have 3 attempts. If I am wrong 3 times, it says I might be a bot. If I get it right, eventually, it says awesome, you are probably not a bot. Okay, I'm going to show you how I'm going to be grading these. So I have my correct versions. I'm going to put them onto the server now and show you, just so you know. Okay, so I'll be on the server in the terminal, and I'll have your R files. I'll go into your directory, and there's a program called R script that I can use to run your file. Okay, so R script homework2b prime, and that runs your program and just prints the results. So I can do this as a quick check to make sure you get the right answers. It doesn't quite work for the bot test, so for the bot test I'll have to R and source your file inside of R so that I can type the answers. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll first run your script, make sure you get the right output, and then I'll look at your code. Alright, that's it for, and these need to be in your, so make those, and then when you have your programs, put them in your homework directory in your hw2b account. Okay, that's it. Good luck with the homework.